So here's the thing. The Las Vegas Raiders are being slept on in many different facets of this team and just outright disrespected. But that's nothing new. And in a sense, it's actually well deserved that the Raiders have been disrespected for the past couple of decades because let's face it, Raiders haven't done anything in years, a long, long time. But things are different with this team now. There's a different feeling in the air. And I know we said that with Antonio Pierce, and that was true. Things were different with Antonio Pierce versus Josh McDaniels as the head coach because he changed the atmosphere and made it a little bit more fun. Problem was, Antonio Pierce didn't know how to be a head coach yet. Whereas now we have a guy who's building a culture, and so therefore the energy in that building is much higher. But more importantly, I think the Raiders have some dudes on this team. And this is where I say the Raiders are being disrespected because right now we have arguably the best tight end in all of football. We have the best running back to come out of college in years. I've said this many times. But here's a few things that people aren't talking about. And that's that, when it comes to the offensive line, the Raiders are actually pretty decent this year. Colton Miller is healthy, and he is back to playing like Colton Miller, like the one we know. And JPJ's really been doing good at right guard. It looks like he's going to stay there. And it looks like Jordan Meredith has done really good at center, and he's going to stay there. And I mean, at this point, yeah, we let Thayer Munford go because he was terrible. But as long as that offensive line stays healthy and coherent, even Dylan Parham is looking good. That starting front five on that line, I think, has the potential to be a top 15 offensive line. I'm not crazy. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 5, but they don't need to be. They just need to be at least better than half of the league. If they can do that, then there's a guy like Geno Smith. He can be really accurate. Because remember, last year with Seattle, he had the worst ranked offensive line. Worse than the Raiders. And he still put up 4,300 yards. Right? Give this guy time back in the pocket. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. But I'm not even talking about that. I want to talk about Dante Thornton Jr. Dante Thornton Jr., we need to do a full breakdown on this guy. A Tennessee product, and we all know Tennessee basically limits their wide receivers to 2 or 3 routes, and that's it. And so he was pigeonholed as a deep threat guy only. But what he's shown is that he's actually pretty dang good at running routes. And he's got pretty good hands. Not great, but pretty good. Now, I think with more repetition, I think he could be great. And so the Raiders go and they sign Amari Cooper because, perceivably, due to the fact that Jakobi Meyers wants a trade. He wants to go to another team because they won't give him a contract. And the Raiders flat out told him, no, we're not trading you. You're going to play out your contract. Now, maybe the Raiders are going to go, 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season and say, okay, Jakobi is the dude. Jakobi is the dude. We have to pay this man. Amari Cooper is old and he's on his way out the door. He's not the answer. And Jack Bech is still a rookie. But the one consistent that has been lighting up training camp and the preseason with his big playability is Dante Thornton Jr. Now, I'm not saying he's the next Randy Moss. He doesn't have to be. But what he is supremely athletic. A guy who stands 6'5", runs a 4.3 40 flat is better than pretty much 95% of the wide receivers in the NFL. Just because he can do that. Now you combine that with hands and route running, and he has the potential to be an elite wide receiver. We're talking about a guy who in 3 or 4 years from now, if he becomes that elite wide receiver that I think he has the potential to be, he will be one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL, if not the highest paid one. A 4th round draft pick. He'll be higher than Jamar Chase. He'll be higher than all of them. Because he has something that all of them don't. He has size, and he's faster than all of them. There's not a lot of wide receivers in the NFL faster than Dante Thornton. And so I think that the Raiders are set up to have one of the most electrifying, explosive, fun to watch offenses that we have ever had. And I'm going to tell you one more thing right after I tell you this. Box House, you guys know it. If you're brand new and you haven't heard it yet, let me tell you about Box House. Listen, if you're looking for a tiny home, come here. If you are looking for an ADU to put your mother-in-law in so that she's not living next door, in the bedroom next to you and your wifey's bedroom, you got to call Box House. My dude Kevin Ross over there, they got the best products in the country, best customer service, best pricing. They will bend over backwards to make it work for you. Call Kevin today at Box House because they can deliver it straight to your house. The link to the website, it's down in the description, guys. Go and check them out. They are absolutely chef's kiss. Beautiful company. I love them, and they are a big, huge supporter of the channel. So big shout out to Box House. Now listen, let's talk about one thing in particular. That's Jack Besh. Jack Besh was a 2nd round guy. He's supposed to be the immediate playmaker as a 2nd round wide receiver. And this is not to say that he's played bad. He hasn't. He's been fine. The problem is he's drafted to be a Jacoby Myers. And if Jacoby's not going anywhere, the Raiders aren't going to just let him walk. They're not going to trade him. Okay. Then Jack can't do what Dante does. Nobody on this team can do what Dante Thornton Jr. does. There's not a single wide receiver that has his height, his athleticism, his speed. Not a one. And therefore, Dante Thornton Jr., I think, is going to work his way very quickly into becoming one of the favorite targets of Geno Smith and becoming a full-time starter as our premier wide receiver. You'll have Trey Tucker on the other side, which creates a speed demon nightmare for defensive coordinators. And you'll have Jacoby Myers running mostly your slot receiver routes. Jack Besh will come in on certain plays. He'll definitely get plays because he's a good player. And then you're going to obviously have Brock Bowers. And that's just going to open up things so much for Ashton Jeanty to have a huge rookie year and make a run at Rookie of the Year. I think, barring any injuries, God forbid, the Raiders could put up an average of 28 plus points per game with this offense, with the weapons that we have right now. And if the Raiders do that, we're in the playoffs, and who knows? Because once you get to the playoffs, it's anybody's ball game, people. We could be on the way back to a Super Bowl in year 1 of Pete Carroll's transformation of this team.